Welcome, you're watching CNN News 18. This is Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. We've seen the kind of drama that's unfolding in the India alliance. Several opposition parties are now baying for blood against each other. They're supposed to be in alliance, but unfortunately they cannot see eye to eye on multiple things. The latest one, of course, is the Congress versus the TMC fight. We had Rahul Gandhi's N.D.A.J.DU Yatra entering West Bengal today. It happened earlier in the day from Bihar. The Congress was on its knees perhaps after Mamata Banerjee yesterday came out and said that we are going to fight it alone. The India alliance as a whole can stay, but in West Bengal we are going to fight it alone, not conceding any seats to the Congress party. The rally for which Rahul Gandhi was in Bengal for his yatra, the TMC missed that completely. Why exactly is there an issue between those two allies? Well, the BJP says this was bound to happen. It's happening in other states as well. Listen in to some of those reactions.
वेस्ट बंगाल में आकर मुझे आज बहुत खुशी हो रही है। हम यहाँ आपकी बात सुनने आए हैं, आपके साथ मिलकर खड़े होने आए हैं। वेस्ट बंगाल के हमारे कार्यकर्ता हैं, लीडर्स हैं, आपका मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं कि आपने इतने प्यार से मेरा स्वागत किया। न्याय यात्रा के पीछे, न्याय यात्रा में हमने न्याय शब्द जोड़ा है, क्योंकि देश में अन्याय हो रहा है। बीजेपी, आरएसएस नफरत फैला रही है, हिंसा फैला रही है और अन्याय फैला रही है। इसीलिए इंडिया फॉर्मेशन एक साथ अन्याय के खिलाफ लड़ने जा रहा है।
Congress has, is trying since yesterday evening, and today also Jairam Ramesh has requested if Mamata Banerjee could come. What's TMC's reaction to that?
I think we are crystal clear that right from the outset, the premise of the alliance was to defeat BJP, and we repeatedly wanted the talks on seat sharing to close. First we waited till 30th of September. It didn't happen. Then we waited till December 31st. It didn't happen. So I think it's quite late, and the only way Bharatiya Janata Party can be defeated in Bengal is with Trinamool Congress contesting all 42 seats. There are three reasons that the alliance has fallen apart. Number one is Adhir, number two is Adhir, and number three is also Adhir. And it is extremely difficult to understand that why the topmost leaders of the Congress party could not, control this situation. It is very unfortunate.
Sources now tell us what the real reason for this rift between the TMC and the Congress is. It seems like Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is the biggest problem the TMC has with the Congress party. We had several leaders from the TMC also come out and publicly ask for the top leadership of the Congress party to rebuke Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Several comments have been made in the past by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary against the TMC, but no action was taken against him, and that is something that concerns the TMC. Not even one MP from the TMC has made any negative comment about the Congress or the alliance, but Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary seems to be a loose cannon, as the TMC believes. Pallavi, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details of what exactly the Congress or the TMC, the Congress versus TMC fight really has. Pallavi, what more can you tell us, especially as far as Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is concerned?
So when we asked this question of the Trinamool Congress and Derek O'Brien specifically, that what are the three main reasons why this split has taken place, he said, well, all the three reasons are Adhir, Adhir and Adhir, which means that it's all zeroed down on Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Look, the Trinamool Congress, Poonam, has always had a problem with him because of his anti-Mamataism. His politics is such where he cannot be seen to be supporting Mamata Banerjee, and he's always been in favor of a tie-up with the left, and that's been the beginning of the end. But there was for quite some time the TMC and Congress, for want of any other better word to use, would say they chugged along. But I think the fact that 210 days is what the Trinamool Congress is saying. In the last 210 days, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has gone bad to worse. He has been making personal attacks. He's calling the Trinamool Congress and Mamata Banerjee a B team of the BJP. And I think the worst or the strongest statement coming in from the Derek O'Brien and TMC is that what the voice is of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, but the content is of the duo show in Delhi. That's as clear as it can get of accusing Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of towing the line of the BJP, speaking their language, and how the Congress's top leadership seems to be moving along with that. I think, Poonam, after this it becomes very clear it's going to be Akla Cholore, certainly for the Trinamool Congress. They are going to be contesting on all the 42 seats, and there is no question of a rethink as far as the alliance in the state is concerned.
And on the face of it, Pallavi, they may say that all is well as far as the bigger picture of the alliance as a whole is concerned. But from what we're learning and what you've learned from your sources within the TMC, is they say that the Congress can contest on 300 seats if they like. And if they do well on those 300 seats, then we'll see what happens after that. Is that, does that hint at the TMC trying to keep one leg out the door, trying to keep their options open?
I think it was more about making a fun or a cynicism as far as the Congress is concerned. I mean, you know, consistently parties like the SP, AAP and TMC have made the point that the Congress no longer has it within itself to contest on 300 seats on one-on-one fight. But the Congress has always made the point that unlike these regional satraps, we are on a straight fight with the BJP on 300 seats, and therefore we should be allowed to contest on them, and the other players must understand that. So today the TMC has thrown the ball in the court of the Congress party, saying fine, go ahead, contest those 300 seats. If you are in a position to form the government, we can think of forming a team which is a secular pro-constitution team, and we will give you all kind of support. But within the in private, the Trinamool Congress is aware of the fact and does also say that the Congress just cannot do it. The Congress is arrogant, acting as a big brother, and they also need to be more and more realistic. You know, this is actually could have a spiraling effect. Will it have an impact on other future talks between, say, an SP and a Congress and AAP at the Congress party as well?
Right, Pallavi, do stay on with us. This could have a ripple effect across the country. We already saw Bhagwant Mann and the Aam Aadmi Party trying to dig in their heels as far as an alliance with the Congress is concerned. Let's listen into some more reactions that are pouring in.
इंडिया जोट तो ममता बनर्जी का नाम पर ही बने थे. ये इंडिया अलायंस नाम ममता बनर्जी ने दिया और उन्होंने चाहती भी है कि इंडिया अलायंस सक्सेस हो. तो सब पार्टी को यही पर्पस होना चाहिए जो बीजेपी को साथ नहीं है कि बीजेपी हटाओ देश बचाओ. तो चीफ मिनिस्टर सही कहा, तुम बंगाल में आते हो, इंडिया अलायंस का एक मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पार्टनर को स्टेट में आते हो जहां चीफ मिनिस्टर है, उनको साथ तो एक बार बातचीत करके आना सबसे अच्छा होते थे. और व्हाई बंगाल हैज नो मोर प्रायोरिटी फॉर न्याय यात्रा.
देखिए, ये सारी चीजें दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण तो है ही, इसको कतई भी स्वस्थ संकेत नहीं माना जा सकता. लेकिन चूंकि इंडिया गठबंधन की बुनियाद पटना से पड़ी थी, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी, डिप्टी सीएम तेजस्वी जी और लालू जी ने, उस बुनियाद के कमजोर होने से हमें कष्ट तो होगा ही. हम अभी भी चाहेंगे कि अंतर्विरोध जल्द से जल्द सुलझा लिए जाए.
बात ऐसी है, पश्चिम बंगाल में ममता दीदी या पंजाब में आप कि हम अकेले चुनाव लड़ेंगे, उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम बीजेपी को मदद करेंगे, बीजेपी के साथ जाएंगे. ये दो राज्य ऐसे हैं जहां हमेशा से सीट शेयरिंग में थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन होता है, लेकिन दोनों राज्यों में बीजेपी का पराभव होने जा रहा है. चाहे इंडिया गठबंधन हो या ना हो, पंजाब में आप और कांग्रेस चुनाव एक साथ लड़ते हैं तो 100% वहाँ इंडिया आघाड़ी है, और नहीं है फिर भी आप चुनाव जीत रही है. वहाँ पश्चिम बंगाल में तृणमूल कांग्रेस में वो क्षमता है कि बीजेपी को पूरी तरह से हरा देगी.
Shifting focus now to the hectic political activity that's taking place in Bihar. We're given to understand that Nitish Kumar, the Chief Minister of Bihar, is in a huddle with senior leaders of his party. BJP, the JDU president of the state, several other senior leaders, including sitting ministers in Bihar, are all in a meeting at the Chief Minister's residence. Nitish Kumar is chairing that meeting. This all comes at a time when there's speculation that there could be some sort of a rift between the alliance government in Bihar, between the JDU and the RJD. Speculation is also rife if Nitish Kumar is eyeing an entry back into the alliance with the BJP and with the NDA. Saurabh, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details of what exactly is transpiring. Saurabh, we're given to understand there was a key huddle at the Chief Minister's residence. That meeting is now over. Have you been able to get some details of what exactly transpired?
Exactly, that meeting is not over yet. Only Vijay Chaudhary came out of the CM residence. Still, Minister Sanjay Jha and State President Umesh Kushwaha are inside the CM residence. But the huddle started when Samrat Chaudhary, the BJP president, was called. He received a call and he left Patna for Delhi all of a sudden, and that too not in his vehicle. He went inside the airport, and what we are learning is that he met JDU General Secretary KC Tyagi inside the airport. They both had some chat, and Samrat Chaudhary had left for Delhi. This has given more air to the speculations about the political turmoil that is going on in Bihar. Remember, when we talk about the rift between JDU and RJD, it first started when the three ministers of RJD quota, they were given different portfolios, and remember Chandrasekhar, who was the education minister, he was given sugarcane department. Then Alok Mehta, who had land reform with him, he was made the education minister, and another minister, Lalit Yadav, was changed. So all these three RJD ministers were given different portfolios. Then it was yesterday when a bonhomie was seen between JDU and BJP. On one hand, Nitish Kumar had thanked Prime Minister Modi for honoring Karpuri Thakur with Bharat Ratna, and then in that public address yesterday, Nitish Kumar had talked about the nepotism in various political families. So that was a surprise for the Mahagathbandhan, because Nitish Kumar, all of a sudden, he talked about nepotism, clearly hurting RJD and Congress sentiments. And then after today, we see a series of tweets that came out from Lalu Prasad's daughter. And she wrote that one who is not capable of doing anything, that they don't have an option.
Those tweets were deleted in a few hours from then as well. So what exactly is transpiring between the JDU and the RJD in Bihar remains to be seen. But there's political activity that's happening not just in Patna and Bihar, it's happening here in the national capital as well. We're given to understand now from our sources within the BJP that several Bihar BJP leaders have been called to the national capital. There is a key meeting that is expected to take place later in the evening. The meeting is likely to happen with Union Home Minister Amit Shah and BJP President I.N.D.I.A is what we're learning from our sources within the BJP. Payal, my colleague, joining us, getting us more details. Payal, what are we hearing about this BJP huddle that could take place later in the evening?
Well, in fact, Samrat Chaudhary has been asked to come down to the national capital essentially to hold a meeting with several top leaders of the BJP, including former Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi, amongst the others. The BJP wants to understand the political situation in the state and what its impact really will be. But as far as the Nitish Kumar joining back thing is continued, as far as that is concerned, the BJP is completely keeping a tight-lipped silence over this. They do not want to give anything away, but they're just saying that this is a very important organizational meeting because the BJP wants to understand on ground what really is happening, what has been the sense as well. Because remember, Nitish Kumar, who was known as Palturam by the BJP, was somebody who actually had walked out on them last year without any prior notice and had actually gone ahead and joined hands with the RJD. Will the BJP be able to put any trust in Nitish Kumar? That remains to be seen. Yes. But has the Karpuri family factor, made it very. And
over the last few days, sorry to interrupt you there, Payal, but over the last few days, we've seen comments come to the fore, or actions come to the fore, overtures, many would call it, from Nitish Kumar, warming up to the Prime Minister specifically. Do stay on with us. Guru Prakash Paswan of the BJP joining us here on this broadcast. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. There's a lot of speculation whether Nitish Kumar is returning to the NDA fold. Mr. Paswan? We'll try and reconnect that line with Guru Prakash Paswan, getting more word coming in from the BJP as well. But speculation is rife as far as whether or not the government in Bihar will survive. Are we going to be seeing Nitish Kumar walk out of the Gadbandhan with the RJD, come back into the NDA fold? RJD's Mithun Tiwari now joining us here on this broadcast. Sir, hectic political activity taking place in Patna. क्या लग रहा है आपको? नीतीश कुमार जी वापस गठबंधन तोड़कर वापस बीजेपी पे चले जाएंगे?
हेलो।
तिवारी जी, मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको?
जी जी आ रही है, आ रही है।
तिवारी जी, काफी सारी मीटिंग्स हो रही हैं बिहार में, काफी सारे कमेंट्स हो रहे हैं आरजेडी जेडीयू की तरफ से एक दूसरे के लिए। नीतीश कुमार जी की जो प्रशंसा है प्राइम मिनिस्टर के लिए पिछले कुछ दिनों में, वो भी बाहर आ रही है। कहा जा रहा है कि गठबंधन शायद टूट सकता है आपका जेडीयू के साथ, नीतीश कुमार जी शायद फिर बीजेपी चले जाए, एनडीए चले जाए।
कहा तो जब से सरकार बनी है तब से यही कहा जा रहा है, इससे क्या लेना देना है। हमारी सरकार पूरी मजबूती से चल रही है और जिस सरकार में इतने सारे काम हुए हैं ये तो जनता सब देख रही है। नौकरी की भरमार किस तरह से हुई, किस तरह से एक करीब करोड़ लोगों को, गरीब परिवार को 2-2 लाख रुपया देने का फैसला किया गया। ये सारे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो काम हो रही है सरकार में। अब बहुत तरह से लोग लगे हुए हैं कि सरकार में कुछ अफवाह फैलाएं, गड़बड़ी करें, वो सबसे कुछ खास अंतर नहीं पड़ता है। बाकी सब देखिए, राजनीति में तो सब लोगों को ये पता है कि जिस तरह से तेजस्वी यादव जी सरकार में आए, नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में सरकार में काम हुआ, तो उस काम का तो हम लोगों का जो उपलब्धि है उस पर ध्यान है। बाकी कुछ लोग कुछ बोल रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे हैं बीजेपी के लोग, इससे क्या हमें मतलब है।
तो तिवारी जी, आपका जो कहना है कि ये सारी अफवाहें हैं, इसमें कोई तथ्य नहीं है, बट पिछले कुछ दिनों में हम देख रहे हैं प्रशंसा जो हो रही है नीतीश कुमार जी ने जो की है प्रधानमंत्री की। कल एक पब्लिक प्रोग्राम में वो बात कर रहे थे कर्पूरी ठाकुर जी के बारे में, तब भी उन्होंने परिवारवाद पर अपनी टीका टिप्पणी की।
नहीं, वो सब देखिए, वो सब बात जो है वो अलग है। उससे क्या कोई ये तो नहीं कहा कि सरकार को जो है ये तो नहीं बोले वो कि सरकार से हम अलग हो रहे हैं, या अरे परिवारवाद पर तो परिवारवाद तो बीजेपी में भी है। तो ये सब लेकर के इससे यही अंदाजा लगाना कि नीतीश कुमार जी साथ छोड़ेंगे, ये तो उचित नहीं है। उन्होंने धन्यवाद दिया कर्पूरी ठाकुर जी को कि इसका जो है ये हुआ कि उन्होंने भारत रत्न दिया, इसके लिए धन्यवाद तो हम लोगों ने भी दिया। इसका अर्थ गलत नजरिए से नहीं लेना चाहिए। और जो भी होगा वो देखा जाएगा, जो होगा तो।
क्या आपके पार्टी के लीडरशिप को या तेजस्वी यादव जी को क्या कोई आश्वासन मिला है नीतीश कुमार जी से या जेडीयू के स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट से?
अभी संभावनाओं पर कोई प्रतिक्रिया नहीं दे सकते। कल क्या होगा, क्या हो जाएगा, ये अभी हम आपको बता रहे हैं कि सब ऑल इज वेल है।
जी तिवारी जी, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। The RJD there going on to say that all this political activity must not be read into very much. All is well as far as the RJD-JDU alliance in Bihar goes. Saurabh continues to be with us, getting us details from on ground in Patna there. Saurabh, Nitish Kumar's meetings over the last couple of days, meetings with the governor, meetings with his own party leaders, all of which have triggered the speculation that perhaps there is a chance that Nitish Kumar could be eyeing re-entry into the NDA fold.
Exactly, and one line I would like to recall of Nitish Kumar's yesterday's speech. He said that हमने जो भी किया है राजहित में किया है और आगे भी राजहित में जो सही होगा वो करेंगे. This line had a great importance, and the importance has been seen today as the political activities has increased. But if we recall the last 2 weeks, the activities in Bihar that clearly gave the speculation that something was not well with RJD and JDU, as I earlier told that 3 RJD ministers were changed, and then the statements of BJP leaders that came, it was considered as a soft statements on Nitish Kumar. BJP leaders were attacking RJD leaders more than speaking against Nitish Kumar. Then we finally see the Bharat Ratna being given to socialist icon in the state, which was appreciated by CM Nitish Kumar yesterday also. And he talked about nepotism. Nepotism and dynastic politics is an issue which the BJP has raised on several platforms, be it the Prime Minister or the Home Minister. And yesterday, Nitish Kumar repeated it despite knowing very well that his allies were accused of dynastic politics right from beginning by the BJP. And after that, we see the tweets coming out from Lalu Prasad Yadav's daughter, Rohini Acharya, and then she deleted that tweet, within an hour after this whole story went on air. Now, the speculation of the government change, because yes, last year also I was here in 2022 in August. This kind of environment, this kind of atmosphere was there because nobody knew that government is going to change. But I would say that this was exactly the same situation when Nitish Kumar had broke the tie with BJP and joined RJD, and now the situation has arisen where we see rift between RJD and JDU on several platforms. We have seen Nitish Kumar saying that RJD leaders must stop giving controversial comments. He has been upset with the comments by RJD leaders. For example, Education Minister Chandrasekhar had spoken ill about Ramcharitmanas and Sanatan Dharm. Other leaders as well, as we have seen on Ram Temple issue, many RJD leaders were criticizing. In fact, the Deputy Chief Minister Tejashwi Yadav had also said that what was the need of making Ram Temple, there should have been a hospital or educational institute made instead. So Nitish Kumar was upset, and now we can't say that the government is going to change. We cannot say, this is just speculation, but the kind of atmosphere, the kind of the whole activities which are going, certainly leads to that way which happened year before. Back to you.
And it's interesting as far as Nitish Kumar and his track record goes, infamously known as the Paltu Ram in Bihar politics. Saurabh, it won't be difficult to imagine that there could be reason for the BJP to believe that he could be returning to the fold. There's also unease as far as the India alliance goes, isn't it? The JDU was extremely uncomfortable with how the Congress was positioning itself in this particular alliance. Several other allies were also miffed. The JDU believes that Nitish Kumar spearheaded this entire 26-party alliance, but it's all going awry because of the Congress. That is also something that would be on Nitish Kumar's mind.
Yes, exactly. And Nitish Kumar has been Chief Minister of the state for 7 times, right from 2000. He became the Chief Minister in 2000, but it was a very short period. And then finally he became Chief Minister of the state in 2005. And since then, he is the longest serving Chief Minister of Bihar. So we can say in 23 years, he has been as Chief Minister for 7 times. Now, if we talk about the NDA alliance, yes, he is upset. Just a month before, when the Congress was busy with assembly elections in the 5 states, Nitish Kumar had particularly said that Congress should give importance to the NDA alliance and their agendas. And since then, it was speculated that Nitish Kumar was upset with the activities of Congress. They are not giving importance to the alliance that he had spearheaded. And now we see when Mamata Banerjee has said that she is going to fight the elections alone. Bhagwant Mann has said that he is going to fight alone in Punjab. So obviously it is a worrisome factor for Nitish Kumar, who
absolutely
had
the worrisome factor is
whole,
also for the RJD. It seems, stay on with us, because on the face of it, the RJD may say all is well and there's nothing to worry about these speculations. But Tejashwi Yadav, the Deputy Chief Minister, is taking no chances. We're given to understand that he too is in a huddle with senior leaders of his party at the residence of at his official residence as a Deputy Chief Minister. We're given to understand that he's called for a meeting right after Nitish Kumar was in a huddle with the state president of the JDU and several other ministers in the state. Saurabh continues to be with us, getting us more details. On both sides, Saurabh, we're seeing hectic political activity there. Both the JDU and the RJD keeping their options open, it seems.
That is obvious, and one thing I would like to say, today in the morning time there was a cabinet meeting, and it went just for 15 minutes, and what we learnt is that Nitish Kumar went into the lift. He called Tejashwi Yadav to come along with him, but Tejashwi Yadav said that he would go by stairs, and then from that time it was clear that something was not right between the two leaders, and now we see Nitish Kumar has been in a meeting for more than 1 hour with his ministers and leaders. In fact, the Bihar President Umesh Kushwaha, Bihar JDU President Umesh Kushwaha is inside, and Minister Sanjay Jha is inside. So the meeting is going on, and what we are learning is that in the 10 Circular Road here in Patna, which is Rabri residence, Tejashwi Yadav has called his leaders his leaders from the party for a meeting. So certainly there are political activities which are going on, which is taking the way towards something big going to happen in the state of Bihar. These are all indications. We are still saying that just on the basis of the activities which are going on, it is we can say that it is evident that something is going to change, and that change will be a big change for the state of Bihar.
Absolutely. Are these just meetings, stock-taking meetings by all parties, or is there more to it? Is all not well as far as the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar is concerned? For the moment, Saurabh, thank you so much for getting us the latest. We'll keep a track of that and much more here on Nation at 5. For now, it's time for a quick break.
Modi's
was up and I said, wow, she's doing like a speech like she won. She didn't win, she lost. And you know, last week we had a little bit of a problem, and if you remember, Ron was very upset because she ran up and she pretended she won Iowa. And I looked around, I said, didn't she come in third? Yeah, she came in third. And then I looked at the polls. She was talking about most winnability, who's going to win, and I had one put up. I don't know if you see it, but I have one put up. We've won almost every single poll in the last 3 months against crooked Joe Biden. Almost every poll. And she doesn't win those polls. And she doesn't win those. This is not your typical victory speech, but let's not have somebody take a victory when she had a very bad night. She had a very bad night.
I am going to spend every single day proving to you that you made the right decision. God bless you. Thank you very much. New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation. This race is far from over. There are dozens of states left to go.
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. There's hectic political activity that's taking place as far as Bihar is concerned. Meetings after another, both with the JDU camp and the RJD camp taking place in Patna. The BJP is going to be in a huddle here in the national capital as well. Are we going to be seeing Nitish Kumar, the Chief Minister, dump his recent ally, which is the RJD, and come back into the NDA fold? Speculation is rife that that could happen in the next few days. We're going to be seeing Rahul Gandhi hold a rally in Bihar in a few days from now. That decision that Nitish Kumar makes of whether or not he wants to dump the India alliance, the allies in the India alliance, could happen before that rally. Aman and Saurabh, my colleagues, continue to be with us. Saurabh, of course, getting us all the details coming in from Patna. One meetings after another, both at the Chief Minister's residence, the other at the Deputy Chief Minister's residence, of what the strategy could be. But Aman, let me get you in first for perspective on this. As far as Nitish Kumar is concerned and his style of politics is concerned, many would would say that this is not new for him. Dumping one for the other, seeing opportunity which suits him best is something that Nitish Kumar has done all through his political career.
Absolutely, and Nitish Kumar is a politician who's very hard to predict what his next move will be. But in this case, what is happening right now today, it seems that he has given enough signals in the past few days that he's not unhappy with the entire India alliance dynamics which are happening. He thinks, Poonam, that the seat sharing should have been done by now. The alliance is already very late. Mr. Nitish Kumar also feels that, there was this ambition in Mr. Nitish Kumar that he would become the face of the India alliance, but because he wanted to move on from the state CM's job, maybe hand it over to Tejasvi Yadav next year after the state elections were held and become maybe the prime ministerial candidate, though he's always denied that ambition. But clearly, JDU quarters has always been the case that Nitish Kumar has bigger ambitions, and they were post-EU camp. I remember last time when JDU and RJD had combined, that Nitish will step into more of a national role. What has happened in the India alliance in the last 6 months is that Nitish is not even of the alliance. The India alliance has not even made him the convener, though Mr. Nitish Kumar feels that he was the one who got, the difficult allies like Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal on the same page as the Congress. So in a way, Nitish Kumar, I think, is unhappy with the Congress party. He's unhappy with the RJD becoming more and more powerful in Bihar, pressing for Tejasvi Yadav's elevation. And this is what is moving him towards the BJP once again. And yesterday, his statements yesterday, where he, criticized dynasty parties for, propagating always, their dynasty, the Bharat Ratna announcement by the BJP for Karpuri Thakur. All these things are now combining, and we see a flurry of activity. In fact, all the senior Bihar BJP leaders are coming to Delhi, and there'll be a meeting today evening on this. So clearly, all the signs seem like Mr. Nitish Kumar is going to do what said in Bihar, a palti once again, and is going to dump the RJD. The million-dollar question, Poonam, now is that is the BJP ready to make him the chief minister again, or does the BJP will give him another maybe some other post and not make him the chief minister? That is what I think the deal is being struck. That will he be the chief minister again? Will BJP get 2 deputy chief ministers like earlier, and will they come back? It makes sense for BJP and JDU in a way to combine ahead of the Lok Sabha elections last time in 2019 when the BJP and JDU had contested an alliance in the Lok Sabha. We know that they had swept the state. RJD was not able to even win 1 Lok Sabha seat in the last Lok Sabha election. So I think it is the need of both the sides. So the BJP, from its senior-most quarters in the last 3 to 4 months, has clearly denied that it needs Nitish Kumar. It has said Nitish Kumar won't be accepted back. But politics is the art of the impossible, Poonam, and the activity that we are seeing, the hectic activity, both in Patna and Delhi, it clearly seems that something serious is afoot here. And we could know maybe by today evening or tomorrow that is there another change coming in Bihar.
Absolutely. Poonam. Will Palturam Nitish strike again? That's really the question that everybody is asking. Saurabh and Pallavi also joining us on this broadcast. Now, Pallavi, the Congress has its own share of problems with alliance partners is concerned. But as far as Nitish Kumar, the activity in Bihar and the larger repercussions for the India alliance go, many would suggest that if this does crumble, then a lot of the blame would be on the Congress's shoulder.
And also, Poonam, again, the timing is horribly wrong for the Congress party and for the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra. Let's quickly go over the sequence of events. Just the first day of the Yatra was to begin. Milind Devra quits to join the Shiva Sena. A day before Rahul Gandhi is to reach Bengal, Mamata Banerjee snaps her ties with the Congress party in the state. And now Rahul Gandhi is expected to enter Bihar on 29th in Purnia at 10:30 a.m. And they are planning a big joint rally. That was the initial plan of the JDU plus the Congress plus the RJD. Now, should Nitish Kumar quit this alliance even before 29th, then you see a repeat of a pattern which seems to be happening, which casts a shadow over one, the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra and its ability to actually string everyone together, and second, of the Congress party being able to keep the alliance together, because the Congress has certainly been making the point that we are the only pan-India party, we are the party which only has a direct fight with the BJP on 300 seats. So the kind of political strategy we want to suggest and chalk out is the one which the entire India alliance must also keep in mind. So these are very telltale signs, and that is the information which we are also trying to put out, Poonam, is that there were telltale signs which are coming up as far as the other allies of the India alliance is concerned, that all is not well in Bihar. It was just a matter of time, and we are seeing a kind of unraveling, and indeed if Nitish Kumar quits that alliance, it's a huge jolt to an attempt being made by the India front to put up a formidable front against the BJP.
And the timing not just is bad for the Congress but for the India alliance as a whole, because today is the day that the BJP kicked off officially its big campaign for the 2024 battle. They launched their campaign song as well, and here we have alliance partners of the India alliance, one after another baying for the other's blood. Unfortunately for the India alliance, the optics of it is something that they will not be able to run away from. Saurabh also continues to be with us. Saurabh, is that meeting at Nitish Kumar's residence still underway, or have we seen JDU leaders now leave? And if they have you been able to get in a word from any of them?
See, the leaders are not leaving. In fact, some leaders are arriving inside the CM residence. Just a moment back, Ali Ashraf Fatmi has reached inside the CM house, and he is considered to be a big leader of minorities in Bihar, and he is very close to Lalu Prasad as well as Nitish Kumar. So this leader enters into CM residence. This also gives a probable that there might be a kind of consensus that Lalu and Nitish Kumar want to make through a leader who is a glue between both of them. Mr. Fatmi is considered to be very close to both these leaders. So on one hand, the meeting still undergoing on, in which Sanjay Jha, State President Umesh Kushwaha, now Fatmi is inside. So and on the other hand, in at Rabri residence at 10 Circular Road, several leaders from RJD along with Tejashwi Yadav are present. Lalu Prasad and other spokespersons and other ex-MLAs are present there. The meeting is still going on inside Rabri residence. So the political activities are, in fact, they are increasing, and the turmoil which we were talking about, the speculations are increasing as the time passes. So tomorrow is the day when the state will celebrate the Republic Day. The Governor House is very near to CM residence, and we are here tracking all the moments. But the kind of speculations, the kind of activities which are going on here at this particular spot is very chilling, where the political activities are giving air
and
to
the allies
several
are bound to
speculations
be jittery over what's transpiring there in Patna. In Delhi too, we are going to be seeing hectic activity takes place later in the evening. Payal, the BJP already also putting its strategy in place. A key meeting expected in the national capital in some time from now?
Well, absolutely. The BJP is going to put its strategy in place, and that's the reason, not just Samrat Chaudhary, but even senior leaders like Sushil Modi, who've been part of the Nitish Kumar-led NDA government in Bihar. He's going to be part of that meeting. The two former deputy CMs are going to be part of this meeting. The BJP wants to understand, Poonam, as to what the situation on ground is, and if at all there's any change which really happens, then what impact will it really have? Because remember, this comes in at a very interesting juncture. Now, end of this month is when JP Nadda, the party's national president, is expected to go to Bihar. On the 4th of February is when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be holding that rally in Betia. He's going to, in a way, launch the BJP's campaign. So this move comes in at a very, very interesting time. Before that, Bihar has seen a lot of political turmoil in the last 5 years. Remember, Nitish Kumar, before the 2020 elections, had actually taken sides with the RJD, had made a government, then dumped them, then came over to the BJP. They fought the 2020 election together, and of course, sometime last year, the BJP was, in for a huge surprise when Nitish Kumar overnight decided to walk away from the alliance and go back to the RJD. The RJD leadership was actually very wary of Nitish Kumar, but political compulsions forced him to come together, and probably this is the second time around that the RJD will be facing the music as far as the JDU is concerned. So we'll have to just wait and see how this really transpires, because the immediate focus definitely will be on the upcoming 2024 elections. The BJP, which has 17 MPs and also 17 MPs are there from Nitish Kumar's JDU.
Yes.
It's a state which gives you 40 MPs. So obviously BJP wants to maximize their performance in the state of Bihar. So will they come together with Nitish Kumar? We'll have to just wait and see.
But what are the terms that either side are going to set if that is what eventually happens? If Nitish Kumar does return to the NDA fold, what are the terms he will have to agree to? That remains to be seen. Pallavi also continues to be with us. Now, Pallavi, like you were talking about the telltale signs that were already there, one of which came at the meeting earlier this month when Kharge was appointed as the convener of the India alliance. When Nitish Kumar denied that post, we're given to understand there was some heated exchange then as well.
Yes, so there are two instances which has happened. In the earlier meeting which took place in December, and just to refer to it very quickly, when there was a speech which was being made by Mr. Nitish Kumar in Hindi, there was an objection which was raised by T.R. Balu that it should be said also in English, to which Nitish Kumar snapped by saying, "Hum Hindustani hain, hum Hindustan mein hain, why should you not understand Hindi?" There was a lot of silence there, and it was very clear that Nitish Kumar was in a bad mood. Rahul Gandhi then called him up the next day to placate him and to reach out to him. That's the first instance. And the second is when there was a recent Zoom meeting which took place of all the stakeholders. In that as well, when the name of the convener was suggested for Nitish Kumar, it was a lackluster cold response which came in both from the JDU as well as by Nitish Kumar, where JDU leaders said that we have no aspiration for this top job. I think at that point of time, the rest of the alliance partners, particularly the Congress party, got the hint that Nitish Kumar was possibly distancing himself from the entire India Front Alliance. After that, there have been many attempts to reach out. In fact, as close as in a couple of days back, Rahul Gandhi has also requested Lalu Prasad Yadav to reach out to JDU and to Nitish Kumar because they want everything in order before the joint rally takes place. That was what was planned, Poonam, and this is going to be hugely embarrassing in case Nitish Kumar, one, does not remain a part of the alliance in Bihar, and second, if once again the JDU skips it like Mamata Banerjee has skipped it in Bengal. So very quickly, 29th, 10:30 a.m. is when the entry of the Yatra is going to be in Purnia, and 30th is when the big rally was planned of the opposition parties, RJD plus Congress plus the JDU.
What happens to that unity rally and what happens to the unity of the India Alliance as a whole is a big question mark at the moment. It's not just parties in Bihar and the Congress that are jittery. Alliance partners in the India bloc across the country are going to be watching these developments closely. I request all of you all to stay on with us. We're slipping into a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Brought to you.
And the next one is my sweet state of South Carolina.
was up, and I said, wow, she's doing like a speech like she won. She didn't win, she lost. And you know, last week we had a little bit of a problem, and if you remember, Ron was very upset because she ran up and she pretended she won Iowa. And I looked around, I said, didn't she come in third? Yeah, she came in third. And then I looked at the polls. She was talking about most winnability, who's going to win, and I had one put up. I don't know if you see it, but I have one put up. We've won almost every single poll in the last 3 months against crooked Joe Biden, almost every poll. And she doesn't win those polls. And she doesn't win those. This is not your typical victory speech, but let's not have somebody take a victory when she had a very bad night. She had a very bad night.
I am going to spend every single day proving to you that you made the right decision. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5. Hectic political activity taking place in Patna. We're given to understand that meetings are taking place both at the RJD residence, RJD chief's residence and at Nitish Kumar's residence as well. But sources are now telling us that there is hectic activity as far as the BJP camp is concerned too. We're now learning that BJP has set terms if they do want to bring in Nitish Kumar back into the NDA fold. The BJP has advised its leaders to stop making unnecessary comments is what we're given to understand. What the JDU is likely to propose is also something that we have accessed. Payal, my colleague, joining us, getting us more details. What we've learned is that the JDU could ask for equal distribution of seats in the Lok Sabha if they do return to the NDA fold. Nitish remains the Chief Minister of Bihar until the next polls. That is also something that Nitish Kumar and the JDU could be asking for. That's what we're now learning. Whether the BJP is okay to make do with these terms is something that, of course, will be discussed in the meeting that takes place later in the evening here in the national capital, which is why dispatches were sent to senior leaders of the BJP to immediately rush to the national capital, where a meeting will be held by Union Home Minister Amit Shah and JP Nadda, the president of the BJP. Payal, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Payal, what more can you tell us? What terms the JDU is likely to propose?
Well, what we are given to understand by way of sources is that the JDU is likely to propose two things. A, they may want to have a detailed discussion on the seats because the immediate target right now is the Lok Sabha election. So, in terms of having equal distribution of seats, that is something which JDU is likely to propose, and also likely to propose that, other elections to the state of Bihar may be preponed. Remember, Bihar had elections to its assembly in 2020 and of course it's due to happen in 2025. So, if the elections are preponed, then probably the JDU can actually join hands with the BJP and form a government, and essentially Nitish Kumar can remain CM till then is what the JDU is likely to propose. We'll have to just wait and see how this really pans out, because if the offer has been made to the JDU by the BJP, probably then the BJP can be, then the BJP will have to oblige to a lot of things that the JDU is demanding. But if the JDU has approached the BJP and has asked to come back, then probably the things can be different, because normally the way in which the BJP really works, they like people joining hands with them unconditional. They do not like people who come with any conditions or any pre-demands as such. We'll have to just wait and see how this really transpires, because this, like last year's developments, have taken many by surprise, because many people, except for the last few weeks when you've seen the way Nitish Kumar has conducted himself, did not really think that Nitish Kumar would do what he's done. So Nitish Kumar has done to the opposition what KCR tried to do it in 2019, trying to bring everybody together and then opting out completely. So that's something which of course has left a lot of opposition parties in a bit of a trouble, because many of them probably would have sensed by then that Nitish Kumar was up to something, because in Bihar they say that Nitish Kumar can change his colors faster than the weather changes in the day. That's the kind of reputation that Nitish Kumar really comes up with.
Absolutely, there's a reputation and the track record he comes up with, but it looks like the BJP has welcomed him with open arms on every single occasion in the past. So is this time also for the same, is something that many are asking. Pallavi and Saurabh also with us on this broadcast. Saurabh, we're given to understand two parallel meetings of the RJD are taking place in Patna. One at the Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav's residence. Lalu Prasad at his residence is also conducting a parallel meeting with senior leaders of the party.
Yes, what we are learning is that several leaders from RJD are arriving at Rabri residence, which is 10 Circular Road, and many leaders like Shakti Yadav, RP Yadav, Bola Yadav and other MLCs of the party, they have already arrived at the Rabri residence. And on the other hand, there is a meeting which is going on for over an hour now at CM residence, where JDU President of Bihar, Umesh Kushwaha, Minister Sanjay Jha and other MLAs are also there. What we are learning is that there is talks of, because Mr. Fatmi is inside, who is considered to be a very close aide of Lalu Prasad as well as Nitish Kumar. He is also present there. So what transpires after this meeting is we are waiting for that moment. Nobody has come out from CM residence. In fact, people are going inside the CM residence, increasing the speculations that what we are making. So it's all about the matter of time, and as we see that the meeting is going to take place of BJP leaders in Delhi, and what we are told is that around 7:30 these leaders, Samrat Chaudhary, Sushil Modi and the former Deputy Chief Minister Tarkishore Prasad and other ministers will also meet Mr. Shah, is what we are learning from our sources. So only after the meeting which gets over, or the leaders which who comes out from the CM
Absolutely, and do keep a track if any of those leaders do make a comment to the media of what's to be expected. But Pallavi, have we had any word coming in from the top leadership of the Congress party? They too must be watching very keenly what's transpiring in Bihar.
Well, of course, they are very, very apprehensive, and of course, they are very worried, and that's also one of the main reasons why the top Congress leadership, including Rahul Gandhi, have been in touch with Lalu Prasad Yadav to ask him to try and placate Nitish Kumar. But it almost, if it is inevitable, if Nitish Kumar leaves that alliance in Bihar, it certainly would be an embarrassing timing and moment, because as we have been talking about, 29th is when Rahul Gandhi would be entering at around 10:30 a.m. in Purnia, and what they are planning was a big JDU plus the RJD and a Congress joint rally to have a show of strength. In Nitish Kumar, the Congress party and the rest of the alliance partners had found a kind of a poster boy who they felt, when many suggested his name as a convener, who could actually be the counter to the Narendra Modi factor for 2024, coming in from the Hindi heartland belt, his oratorial skills and also the the background that he comes in from. The Congress party has always been pitching for Nitish Kumar as one of the prime faces of a coalition against against the BJP, against the NDA as well. So certainly this would be a huge setback. But you know, the rumblings have always been there. I mean, I reported a short while back how the India alliance leaders were getting that hint that perhaps Nitish Kumar was...
But I'm completely out of time, Pallavi. Looks like Nitish Kumar has been keeping his options open for a very long time now. What happens in Bihar, we'll keep a track of that. But it's a wrap from my side here on this edition of Nation at 5. Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. French President Emmanuel Macron has landed in Jaipur a day before attending the Republic Day celebrations in Delhi as the chief guest. His visit marks the 25th anniversary celebrations of the India-French strategic partnership. France has stood as India's closest friend even when other Western countries like the US and Canada more recently have tried to peddle the Nijjar and Pannu narrative against India. Remember, only last year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited France as the chief guest on Bastille Day. He had urged the Indian and French business leaders to work for advancing the friendship between the two sides. Now, Emmanuel Macron's visit comes at a crucial juncture when India is emerging as a Vishwamitra or friend of the world, as reiterated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi last month while hosting the UAE President for the vibrant Gujarat Summit too. But a friend that, quite like France, has its own strategic vision and independent stance. But there's also a deeper symbolism. Macron is the face of French liberalism and secularism, a touchstone for most other democracies. Ahead of 2024 general elections, attacks on Narendra Modi on these subjects have increased, particularly after the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha moment. But PM Modi is also batting on the front foot. He's really the face of an Indian form of liberalism and secularism. As he showcases India's growing might globally with a roadshow shortly with Macron, he also hammered his guarantees earlier today in a rally in UP on a day his campaign song was launched. So does he have a guarantee of a 2024 comeback? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. But I want to re-emphasize the meaning and the message out of Macron's visit to India. There are multiple facets and there are messages not just for Indians but for the global community at large. Now, Macron had accepted a very late invite that was given to him. This shows that he is truly a friend in need with no conditions that other countries might put. He comes from France, the land of staunch secularism. He's the face of action against extremism by minorities, exclusivism by Muslims in France. And India, he's supporting India amidst criticism on Indian secularism under Narendra Modi. Remember, France is also the most liberal of all democracies and is backing India, which is accused of democratic backsliding again under Narendra Modi. France is a voice of strategic independence. It doesn't always take the same stance as other Western countries, and it coincides with India's vision of a multipolar world. This is where both sides are very alike. France is siding with India while countries like US and Canada are trying to pressurize India into some sort of submission, particularly on the issue of Khalistani elements and the kind of nuisance they are peddling against India. Now, Macron's visit is also in line with the Prime Minister's focus on re-establishing India's prowess on the global stage. This has been a major thrust during his second term, something the BJP and the Prime Minister don't lose any opportunity to highlight. Now remember, India recently pulled out all stops to host a very successful G20 summit. And during this summit, it played a key leadership role to take it from G20 to G21. It also displayed power play at the recent vibrant Gujarat Summit. Who can forget the bonhomie between the UAE President showcased at this summit, where there was a roadshow between the two leaders and the UAE President also made a rare speech. And recently, India has also stood with the world during the COVID pandemic, which has earned it a lot of respect, along with the fact that the most populous country in the world, which is India, handled the COVID pandemic much better than many in the developed world. And all of these are successes that the Prime Minister continues to hammer on.
Let's not forget, everything the PM does ties into his vision for the country and thus also ties into his vision as far as his pitch to the public is concerned. It's going to take more importance in an election year like this one. Just today, the BJP released its 2024 campaign video which showcased the PM's successes. Diplomatic relations feature here too. But let me break down what all does this video highlight. So it highlights jobs created via startups. It highlights the G20, the Chandrayaan success, which is really taking India a notch above in respect, if nothing else. Crackdown on black money. Now, this is something his opponents could criticize the BJP government's track record on. Internationalizing the Yoga Day. It was done well early into his first term, but it is still featuring very prominently as far as this new campaign video is concerned. Then, of course, is the third largest economy goal. This is something the PM reiterates every speech. The fact that it's a key player at COP28 summit. The inauguration of the Ayodhya Ram Mandir featured in it, but also featured in it strong relations with the Middle East. For example, I mentioned the recent visit by the UAE president as well. But with Macron in India, the question we ask is this. The Prime Minister is once again showcasing Bharat's might. Is that a guarantee of a 2024 comeback? We'll take that to our guests in just a bit.
जल्द से जल्द देश के हर नागरिक को उसके लिए बनी सरकारी योजना का लाभ मिले। आज देश मोदी की गारंटी को गारंटी पूरा होने की गारंटी मांगता है।
Let's go across to our guest. Joining us, Charu Pragya is from the BJP. Pinakaranjan Chakravarti is former secretary, MEA. Kapil Madan, lawyer and political analyst, leans towards the Congress party. Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. And Pathikrit Payan is strategic affairs expert joining us on the show. Before I go to our experts, let me just bring in some political elements as well. Ghanshyam Tiwari, why don't I begin with you? You know, here is a lot of the Western agencies, talking about India in a negative light, that secularism is in danger, minorities are in danger, liberalism is dead in India. And here you have the most liberal, the most secular country's president coming to India and being the face of its Republic Day celebrations. This is a stamp of the fact that all criticism that comes from the West or that Western prism need not be bought.
Good evening, Shivani, to you, the viewers and fellow co-panelists. There are two different things. One is how the world looks at India is a story which has been built over 70 years. It is built on the thought leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, the government, subsequent governments, the past glory of India, as well as what the current government does. The power of Indian constitution and power of Indian institutions. As far as the stifling of voices in India, the fracture of democracy in India, you don't have to go to Paris to watch it. You have to go to the parliament and see when 140 members of parliament are thrown out, when the press is gagged, when laws are passed without any discussion, when the government and the party in government wants to make breaking communal harmony as their prime agenda. There are multiple ways to look at it, and everyday newspapers will tell you the story. As far as the visit of the French president is concerned, it is a continuation of strong friendly ties that France and India has, and the strategic interest that these two countries have together, both at multilateral forums such as the United Nations Security Council, the overall interest vis-a-vis the global geopolitics. And you're right that France has been able to take an independent view of Indian foreign policy stances, and also Macron has been able to...
But this is where I tie the two together. Ghanshyam, just to take your point forward, this is where I tie the two together. Here's a country that believes in its values. The French values are quoted everywhere else in the world. But here's a country, and Macron is the face of speaking against Muslim extremism, of stamping down against exclusivism in the name of religion. He doesn't allow that in France. It's the most secular of all countries. And it's not a country that follows the quote-unquote Western line on India, which is peddled repeatedly as some sort of a counterbalance or check against India. Possibly it's time for Indians too to shed that baggage.
Well, we don't have to go to France to understand how diversity works. India is a living example that it is the European Union that is learning from India that how diversity works.
Sure.
But in the rule of BJP, we are giving away that thought leadership. That is obvious in everyday conduct in society by this government. So we don't have to get their certificate. As far as the French problem with extremism is concerned, that is their own problem. That doesn't have any Indian dimension to it. In India, the diversity is not a problem. Many parts in Europe, diversity is seen as a problem and they are trying to grapple with that problem. In India, it is our strength. That is the fundamental difference.
Yes, it is our strength, which is why some of the criticisms that come, particularly in election years, is that motivated? Is a question I'll come back to, but I'll allow Charu Pragya to respond to Ghanshyam Tiwari that, foreign dignitaries do not necessarily provide a stamp of approval that sometimes the BJP or Narendra Modi might want to project.
Shivani, good evening. Nobody is looking for a stamp of approval, but we have to remember at the end of the day, the world is one village, and one thing that impacts one country will eventually impact another. India and France have a lot of shared values, the first and the strongest of them being a zero tolerance policy towards terror. I think that's one thread which ties us very strongly. And whatever you say about diversity, the problem in France is not diversity. The problem remains to be terrorism. And whichever section of society is supporting that terrorism, it is our job to take a stand against that. See, it's not about approval from any foreign country, but it's about claiming the space and being proud of the space that India now occupies on the global stage. Now, whether it is India as a country which is exporting vaccines to 150 plus nations, whether it is India as the country which for the first time got complete consensus during the G20, which included the whole African Union into the G20, that inclusivity goes a really long way. What we are trying to say here is that, and don't worry, I have nothing to say about the opposition. I have no time to look at your graph because BJP is too busy watering our side of the fence, and that's what we focused on the last 10 years. We've made sure that every single where you can measure development in India, we have delivered. Every single place. आप simple चीजों से शुरुआत करते हैं, घर, पानी, बिजली, we've made sure of that. आप उसके एक कदम आगे बढ़ते हैं, आप शिक्षा की बात करते हैं, medical care की बात करते हैं, we are taking care of that. Okay. Whether it is Jan Aushadhi Kendra or Ayushman card, we talk about dharma. We've made sure religious places of tourism are touching new heights. The recent one, Hamare Ramji has also come back home. So we are delivering every day, and it was not just Ramji that day. Modi ji announced solar panels for 1 crore households in India.
Okay. So you're saying everything is going together as far as development is concerned. I want to shift to our experts very quickly. Before I come back to how the politics is associated with a lot of what is going on, these are some live visuals also coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron now taking a tour of some of the sites as far as Jaipur is concerned. Going across to Pinak Ranjan Chakravarti, former secretary of the MEA as well, there's that famous hug as well. There were cutouts of the Macron-Modi hug that were put on roads in Jaipur as well. Huge camaraderie between the two and mutual trust. Pinak Ranjan Chakravarti, what is the message you read from Macron's very late invite, acceptance and the faith he has shown in India?
Well, I think Indo-French relations have become, what shall I say, across the template, sort of a model, a kind of a growing model of two countries, both liberal democracies, both secular and both reaching out to each other without, the irritants that we have with the Anglosphere, as we call them, the English-speaking countries. So I think we must distance ourselves from all this, noise. I call it noise in the, don't say Western media. Please always say Anglosphere media, because although other media also criticizes, the French TV, for example, does criticize, but that's okay. We can live with that. We have a free media. We can criticize each other and anybody else. But I think we should not get so, worked up by this whole, Anglosphere media criticism. I really don't think that is important for us. I think it is far more important for us to concentrate on building ties with our friendly countries like, a strategic partner like France, because we've had a long-term, France was a colonial power in India and it left its mark on certain places. It's a different matter that they lost out to the British. And if they had won, I would be talking to you in French, perhaps. but I think, France did leave its mark.
Yes.
We learned a lot from them. Of course, after the French Revolution, their ideas spread across the world and into India as well. So I think, and France and India both value what we call in foreign policy strategic autonomy. That we are not going to be camp followers of anybody. We will take our own decisions, and France is that way, there's a huge degree of convergence with France.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
They've also been... Yes.
So just to, last sentence, so we have a very good relationship with France, which is based on this convergence and based on mutual interest. So I think, and the very fact that France, your first question, that France, the Macron, accepted the invitation when it was known that Biden
had refused it, yes.
And finally had refused. So I think it shows that how much empathy he has for India and has for the personal chemistry with the Prime Minister.
Absolutely. There is certainly an element in this visit, Pathikar Prayan, which is a response that even India would like to send to countries like US and Canada, given the latest rows. But do you feel the timing of the French president's visit coming days after the Ram Temple moment, which is being, I would say, largely being projected very negatively with a certain connotation and with certain colored eyes around the world. Do you feel the timing is also important given what the French president represents?
Shivani, let me tell you a few things about France. Number one, the French people are fiercely protective of their own culture, the kind of cultural renaissance that we see in India today happening. Number two, the French people are fiercely nationalistic, and when what they actually apply is hard secularism, which means in 2010, they imposed a complete ban on all kind of veil on the face. I don't know how many of my secular friends would agree to the kind of secularism which France applies. If India were to apply those things, I mean, they would call them communal. So let me tell you, there are a lot of areas of convergence between France and India. Number one, I think on many occasions, France actually felt shortchanged by the West. The recent thing, you can talk about the deal with Australia for submarines, which was to go to France, and eventually it went to America and United Kingdom. And it was a huge deal consisting of probably $30-40 billion. On several occasions, in several areas, France considers itself as an outlier. They don't agree to everything that the Americans do. Sometimes they are compelled to actually follow the line, but they don't actually agree. So I think in many ways, India is following the template that France has created in terms of having technological independence that gives them the freedom or the elbow room for having a foreign policy which is independent. So for us, what's happening in India is concerned, I keep on saying this, they have their own intelligence agencies and embassies to inform how India is working. They don't need to read newspapers separately to find out. So I think whether you talk about President Macron...
Are you saying the French don't use this as a stick to beat India with, while other Western countries do? This whole canard of secularism and liberalism and backsliding of democracy, the French just don't use it against India. Certainly the French don't make any statements against India publicly ever.
Well, recently I actually worked on a report on something very similar. Let me tell you, the French newspapers are equally critical of the French government.
Sure,
it's a complete leftist. It's a leftist media. So beyond the point, nobody gives too much importance to what they say. Even the French government doesn't give importance. But the reality is, beyond the camaraderie, there's a lot of realism in it. First and foremost, there are major defense deals which are coming up, and at every occasion, I think the French considers that anything which doesn't go to the Americans, they find an opportunity, and that's a great thing. The biggest thing is, the area of convergence, which you can say has happened over several years and decades, is that the French have never put any kind of caveat when they sell a technology.
Yes.
That's the kind of faith they have on India, and it is across governments. I'm not saying only in this government. But let me also tell one thing. Had I stated it in your previous program also, when the President of UAE visited India, had there been an iota of doubt in the mind of the French President about the election in 2024 in India, he perhaps would have delayed this visit, because that is something that's very important for them when it comes to deals like this. There can be some announcements tomorrow, whether it's for the 26th Rafale for the aircraft carrier, or 3 more submarines of Kalvari class, which is basically the Scorpion, the naval group makes it of France. So I think whether it's on areas of nuclear technology or areas of, whether it's defense and many other areas, I think they believe that Prime Minister Modi is taking the right step in terms of what. In 2013, let me tell you, Shivani, India was among the fragile 5 economies of the world. By 2023, it became among the major 5 economies of the world. So the transformation that has happened against all odds gives them the confidence that this is a country which they can bank upon, primarily because of its economic stability and an independent foreign policy.
Yes,
France
but I think at the same
President
time, Patikrit, the French don't want, quote unquote, a certain kind of India. They don't drive that message. At least, India has risen economically only just yet. But there is no history of the French trying to, insist that there should be a certain element to India. For example, religious freedom. Now, the US has been infamous, and their agencies have been infamous for hammering India on this, when we all know the kind of work US funded missionaries do in India and the kind of reaction they get. But I don't want to step into that just yet. I want to go across to Kapil Madan as well. Kapil, the fact that he has managed to elevate India's position in global relationships and diplomatic ties is a cornerstone of the Prime Minister's stint in office, particularly his second stint. Don't you think that this is one thing that separates him quite a bit from his predecessors, particularly the UPA era?
Well, I think, the recent turn of events, if you, look at it, dispassionately, you'll get to know we had a, strained relationship with Canada. We had a situation where the Prime Minister, the President of the United States, after conclusion of G20, he went to Vietnam and he raised the issue of press freedom and the state of affairs in India. To say that, and he want to give credit to, Mr. Modi just because a president of a country visits here. So I will also remind you that, President of France has visited earlier for the Republic Day celebration back in 2004. President of South Africa has graced the occasion in 2005. President of Brazil has graced the occasion in 2006. Vladimir Putin, President of Russia, has graced the occasion in 2007. Again, President of France has graced the occasion of 2008. Now, the fact of the matter is that we see that, on a Republic Day celebration, we have people, we have guest dignitaries from different countries, and to read too much into
no, not just this visit. I'm saying that during his second term as the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi has particularly focused on India's heft in the world diplomatically, in being a change leader, in being a country that can drive change through its own values without aping Anglosphere or Western values. Kapil, don't you think that is something that separates him? And I'll go back to Ghanshyam and Charu after that.
No, I will just take. Let's take our viewers to a very recent turn of events. What we saw in Maldives. I mean, Maldives. This is a clear example of goal. I mean, it was absolutely not required. Soon after that incident, you have a country where our soldiers were there. Strategically, they were there. They have issued a mandate and have asked us to remove our soldiers. And there are now reports that Chinese soldiers are going there. So what kind of
No, Maldives is a conundrum. No questions on that. But that's because of a change of government, not so much because India has changed. They've had an opposition party come to power on the basis of an India out campaign.
Shivani, I think if you need an example, a picture of self-goal, so I think, the incident, the way we have dealt
Maldives
with
was an
Maldives,
incident. Okay.
it's a
All right.
clear-
I take your
clear.
point. Ghanshyam Tiwari. Ghanshyam, you wanted to come in.
Well, first and foremost, we have to look at the visit as a continuation.
Sure.
Macron is the sixth French leader who has been accorded the honor of India's chief guest Republic Day celebration, and fourth since 1998. France has also exported the most weapons to India between 2017 and 2021, apart from Russia. So there is clear business ties, defense ties, and a continuation of relationship. To use that and to whitewash the blot that BJP has with respect to the constitutional democracy that India is, with respect to social harmony in India, with respect to progress, with respect to federalism, with respect to press freedom, with respect to women rights, with respect to so many other things, where Prime Minister himself has failed, and his guarantee is a guarantee of failure rather than success, whether it is jobs, whether it is black money. I will not use the French visit as a way to whitewash.
But what about his overall success on the global stage? Hasn't India's heft, India's position, India's respect increased in the last 10 years?
Well, you look at, you start the global stage from where India is. India's equation with Pakistan, India equation with China.
India's equation with Pakistan is much better than it used to be, Ghanshyam, don't you think?
Well, no, absolutely not. And the Prime Minister visited out of turn, he visited Nawaz Sharif. What happened after that?
Yeah, but that was 9 years ago.
Yes, and what happened in those 9 years? What happened with China? Prime Minister
I think we've shown Pakistan its place. You don't agree?
You are contradicting. Is it better, or we have shown them their place?
Can relations with Pakistan be better? I think we've come to a realization it's better to just minimize the Pakistan effect on India. We used to be so cowed down with the Pakistan factor.
I don't think so. We defeated Pakistan, but that aside, I'm saying whether it is Pakistan, whether it is China, whether it is Bhutan, whether it is Maldives, you must start somewhere. You start with Indian neighbors and look at how Indian relationship has changed during the
during I want to take that to Charu.
Just visiting the world doesn't mean that you will have an effective.
I want to take that to Charu. You can talk about US, France, UK, Australia, the world. What about the Indian neighborhood?
I'll tell you why I disagree, Shivani. The difference between India then and India now is that this India stands up for itself. This India does not mince its words. We say what we mean. My friend was talking about Canada. Why are the relations strained? Because we are taking a stand for what is right for our country. And that brings us respect. See, we are not looking for temporary pats on our back from any country, neighboring or otherwise. What we are looking for is what is good for our country. We follow a policy of India first, and that is going to take our country a long way ahead. We are not looking at India 5 years later or 10 years later. We are looking at India even 50 years later, and that I think is the difference between all the prime ministers before Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Modi today. It's important we remember that. See, even when it came to buying oil, our external affairs minister gave a strong statement. We are not calming down now, please. And if you think that Pakistan is a major factor, let me tell you, today we have decided we don't want to have talks with anyone who's sending terrorism across the border towards our country. We take a strong stand and we'll stick to that.
No, I think I will also stick to the point that while we'll all love to have great relationships with our neighbors, but with a neighbor like Pakistan, it's better that we minimize its impact than be forever mired in trying to please a country whose entire identity is anti-India.
That was also appeasement of a kind, right?
Yeah,
Shivani?
it was appeasement of a kind. Absolutely, absolutely. Today, Pakistan has no bearing on anything that happens in India. It is stuck in a quagmire of its own. We don't wish ill will to anybody, but certainly Pakistan is not a country that has earned much goodwill in India either, and those days are gone. We have turned a leaf. Pinak Ranjan Chakravarti, you agree? What would you rate Narendra Modi's foreign policy as? What has been the standout feature and where have we lacked?
Well, one area, I mean, just to pick off the menu, is our policy towards, let's say, West Asia or the Middle East, as the West calls it. I mean, we've managed to develop good relations with most of the countries, although they are fighting amongst each other. But we maintain good lines of communication with them, and and our trade has gone up, our people working there has gone up, and we have also benefited from certain countries on defense technologies and things like that. So I think that is one area. Look, in geopolitics and in foreign relations, there is no a steady state solution. In physics, we call it a steady state. But the universe, for example, is in a steady state. There are ups and downs. Look what's happening in the Maldives. Suddenly, one new politician campaigns on a particular thing and wins the election, and now is showing that he wants to bring his country. He, or I suppose not the whole country, but he wants to get closer to China, which is keen on finding a foothold there. So these things happen. There's nothing fixed, in geopolitics, and so everybody does that. Most countries do that to seek leverage. For example, the so-called Anglosphere media keeps writing all the stories that they want to write. But I think these are all, an element of leverage that they seek. Yes. Apart from the fact that they think they are very liberal and independent, although I know from my inside knowledge that they also toe the line when told. So, by their own governments. So I think these things happen. One should not get too upset about it.
Yeah.
Domestic politics is a different matter, and I don't want to get into that because I'm not, partisan in that sense. But I think in geopolitics and foreign policy, one has to be, careful about, things go up and down a bit, things deteriorate, things improve sometimes, etc. So I think whatever the policies that this government has followed, there are successes, and we could have done better. We can always say that for any occasion. But overall, if you ask me, India's footprint, India's profile has grown in the world much more than what I have seen in the past. So I think
that was exactly the point. How much is India's word being valued? Is that more than it used to be? Has the trajectory been much better than what we used to climb on? Has the graph shot up sharply, or has it been just a steady increase? And I think it's not. It would be foolhardy to not accept that a lot of that heft comes from economic might too, which is why the Prime Minister's focus, if you look at in all of his election rallies and now his election campaign that is kicking off, is about a $5 trillion economy plus a top 3 major economy of the world. So that goes with you being powerful. I think that pragmatism has set in. Working off a poor India, needy India image is not what India is doing anymore. Pathikrit, what do you feel? Has Narendra Modi been able to increase India's heft more than other prime ministers have in the past?
Shivani, if India had not done anything in the last 10 years, IMF chief would not have come up and said that India stands as a bright spot in an otherwise dark horizon. And this is just after the COVID situation when India emerged as the 5th largest economy of the world. So if India had not done anything specifically under Prime Minister Modi's regime, India would not have emerged as the voice of the global south that it is today. If India had not defied the Western sanctions and had taken oil from Russia, we would have been under deep recession, which many of the other countries are right now in. If India had not taken an independent stand when it comes to Middle East, where it stated that we are in favor of the two-state policy, but we're completely against terrorism, things wouldn't have the way it is that both the sides are in support of us. Let me tell you two things, Shivani. A lot of people talk about press freedom. European Union itself banned Sputnik and Russia Today channel the moment the war between Ukraine and Russia started, because they never wanted